Hey guys, it's Janie. Welcome back to the Bookworm Buddies. Today I thought I would do a tech video. So I found this from Amy. Amy did this from Amy of Hearth Ridge, and I was watching this video of hers, so I figured I would do it too because it sounded like one that I could really enjoy. So I will link to Amy's channel down below, but let's get to this. I think it's called 20 Bookish Questions, I think is what it is. So anyway, let's just get started. The first one is, how many books is too many books in a series? For me, this depends on what genre you're reading. I feel like if you're reading a mystery, it can just go on for days, and you can just pick and choose what you want to read as long as you keep focus on your detective, because that's the person that's going to grow through the series. But generally, there are different cases every time you pick up a book, so it doesn't really bother me if there's one that's, you know, I think like J.D. Robb's series, the In Death series, I think that's like in the 40s of the books. I've not read any of those though, but I feel like it doesn't matter as much with mystery. But if you have a series like fantasy, I think you really, they need to know when to stop it. A lot of times when you're reading a fantasy series and it's a really long series, it starts to peter out a little bit. I did not feel that at all with the Throne of Glass series. I feel like Sarah J. Maas did an excellent job bringing in new elements and making the story fresh, but I don't feel like every author is good at that. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe five books would be good to end in a fantasy series, unless that author has, you know, the ability to keep a story fresh so people want to keep reading it. You know, all authors have the right to however many books they want in a series, but they have to think about, you know, the content and can they keep it fresh and new. And if they don't feel like they can and they feel like it's run out, then, you know, I feel like authors need to know when to stop on a series. Sorry, that was long. Number 2 is, how do you feel about cliffhangers? I'm kind of indifferent with cliffhangers. The only thing that I have about cliffhangers is if there is a cliffhanger and it's a really good one, they need to make sure that they've got that next book ready, because a lot of people don't want to wait 2-3 years for another book to come. You know, for me, I'm really late to the bandwagon on most series. Like, I've jumped on like 5-6 years later. By that time, most of the books are there. So cliffhangers are enticing to readers. And most authors, publishers, editors, whatever, they know that, you know. So if you have a great cliffhanger, they're gonna be sure to grab the next book. And in the next book, that cliffhanger better be addressed, because there's going to be a lot of people that are upset or angry that their questions weren't answered. So I'm really kind of indifferent with cliffhangers, simply because of the fact that the series that I've been reading now are old series, back in like 2013 through like 2016 or so. So most of those books are there. I do think cliffhangers add a little bit of excitement to a story, as long as that next book is right there in line. That's my only thing with it. They better be ready. Okay, the next one is hardcover or paperback. I used to be strictly a paperback person, and I'd always get mass market paperbacks. They were less expensive and they fit more on the shelf and this and that. And now I don't really have a preference between hardback or paperback as long as it's the trade paperback. I'm totally finished with mass market paperbacks because they just make everything look uneven on your shelves, and I don't like that now. I take more care now into what the bookshelves look like. I realize a lot of mass market paperbacks I have right now I can no longer get, or they're harder to get in trade or hardback. Like my Richard Lehman series that I've got, those books that I have, I probably won't be able to get those in full-size books now, because I don't even believe any of them are any longer in publication. There's like a lot of my Lisa Jackson ones, I know I can get those in hardback, but it's gonna require money. And just like with my Stephen King mass markets, I've been slowly trying to get them in hardback or trade. So really no preference if it's trade or hardback. I just don't want mass markets anymore. That's just the thing for that one. Okay, favorite book. My favorite book, as you guys probably know, is It by Stephen King. It always has been, always will be. I just feel like Stephen King's ability to create a character is just fantastic. And I feel like the book It is more character driven than plot driven. And I just, like, maybe kind of even, but I think the characters kind of outshine the plot. I've read that book by 4 times. I've always enjoyed it. That will always be my favorite book. Of course, I do have other favorite books, but that one stands the test of time. Least favorite book, I would have to say, is Lord of the Flies. I could not stand that story. It was nothing but violence of a bunch of kids on a beach, pretty much. And I just thought it was horrible. I didn't see a moral to the story. And I know there's probably a moral to the story that many people can pick out, but I really could not stand that story. And the other one I really didn't like was House of Leaves. I read that book actually in my Goodreads group. It was a book choice for the month, and I was so excited to get the book because there were so many good things said about how scary it is, and it really wasn't scary at all, and it was exhausting. It was an exhausting book. It read kind of like a textbook, and I felt like I could leave with a PhD or something, you know. It was exhausting. I couldn't stand it. I did finish it, though. Okay, love triangles, yes or no? I really don't like love triangles all that much. I can handle them if you've got like someone from the past and someone from the present. That kind of love triangle I can handle. I think those can be written pretty well and tastefully. When you come to one where you got both are current and present, and she's got to choose, you know, like kind of like in Twilight with Edward and Jacob, I just think they get kind of cheesy. So if there isn't a love triangle, it won't hurt my feelings. The most recent book you just couldn't finish. There's only one book that I've had to DNF this year, and that was Dead at First Sight by Peter James. I wanted to love that book because he's a UK author. I love UK authors, especially when it comes to mysteries. I think they do them so well. But this one, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Okay, a book that you're currently reading. I'm currently reading this one, Legendary. This is a buddy read with my sister, and this is by Stephanie Garber. I enjoyed Caraval so much that I'm finally getting to this one. Caraval for me was just unforgettable, so I didn't have to jump into it right away. But I want to finish this one. I think I really want to pick up finale directly after that. And I'm also reading Riot Rules by Kelly Hart, which I talked about I think I talked about it in my currently reading video, and it's on the dark side. So I'll get more into that when I have my wrap up or whatever. The last book that I recommended to someone was Throne of Glass to my sister. She is currently getting the books for that. I actually suggested that she just get like the Assassin's Blade first and read that and see if she likes it, because that's a lot of money to go towards a 8-book series if you're not going to like it. So, yeah. And also, It Ends With Us. I recommended that to my eldest daughter, and she enjoyed it. Okay, the oldest book you've read by publication date. This one's really hard because a lot of times we don't have the oldest and the earliest publication date in our libraries. I know I don't. But when I was younger, I was a little girl, I fell in love with the book Black Beauty. As you guys know, I've said that's probably one of my favorite books of all time. And I haven't read it in forever. I know that it came out in 1877, but the book that I had, they were Burgundy books, and they were all classics. You know, there was like Black Beauty, there was Tom Sawyer, there was just all kinds of books in this set. It was a set of, and I don't even know for the life of me what happened to those books. That was when I first read Black Beauty. Today I have it in the kids form, an illustrated form. Then I also have Barnes & Noble exclusive of Black Beauty, and I'm going to read that book again. I really want to see if I still enjoy it as much as I did as a child, and we'll see. Maybe I'll do a video on that once I do get it read. So that is the only one I can think of. I don't know what the publication date is of that book because I did not have it. I don't know what happened to it, but it first came out in 1877. The newest book that I read so far, I think, was All the Salt in the Sea, which I did for Read Your E-Reader. I don't know if I even put that in. I didn't put that in my update for Read Your E-Reader. But that was one that I just finished. That came out January of this year. My favorite author, Stephen King. Buying books or borrowing books, buy. I don't have any libraries near me, and it's $50 a year to go to Denton Library, and I'm just not into spending $50. A book you dislike that everyone else seems to love, and I'm gonna say right now that's The Midnight Library, because I just did not get that book. I mean, I understood what the author was trying to do, but I felt like it was just one of these roller coasters, you know. So I didn't really care for it that much until like the last 20 pages of the book. Then it got interesting. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people who really liked that book, and I just didn't get it. And then also I'd have to say House of Leaves again. A lot of people love that book too. Bookmarks or dog ears. I'm going to say bookmarks always. I don't like the dog ear my pages. A book you can always reread. A lot of them I love to reread Ted Dekker books because I love to share his adrenaline pumping action with other people. So I'll do reread with them, I will do buddy reads with them, which would be rereads for me. I've reread Stephen King books. They're just, you know, it's just fun to revisit because I don't always remember every detail in a book, and every time I reread a book, it makes it fresh, and then I pick up new things as well. So I love to reread books. Can you read while hearing music? I can only read if it's like instrumental music, because if I'm listening to regular music and they're singing, I'm going to be singing too, and I'm going to be reading while I'm reading, while I'm singing, and then I'm not going to even know what I do. Instrumental music, pretty good. It makes sometimes, you know, because they make the music out there to fit your reading style, whatever genre you're reading, and sometimes it can enhance your read also. So if it's instrumental music, yes, but if it's actual music where people are singing, I'll sing along and never get anywhere in my book. One POV or multiple POVs. I'm going to go with multiple. I think it makes the stories more dramatic, and you can see it from somebody else's ideas and thoughts. Like, I just think it makes the story a little more exciting. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? It depends on the book. If it's a book that I'm really enjoying, I have read a book in one sitting, and then other books a little more intricate, and it takes a few more days to read it. It just depends on the genre, the book, if I'm busy, if I'm not busy. If I can read a book in one sitting, then I will. But, I mean, I don't base my reading on trying to get a book read in one day or in one sitting. And the other one is, who do you tag? I'm not going to tag anybody. If you guys like this tag, then please do it and let me know if you do it, and I'll come watch your video. Thanks, guys, for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.